Oh man, it's getting pretty late. Better set up camp. Oh, I didn't bring a tent. Ah, that's okay, I'll just build a shelter. First things first is knowing where to put it. Never put a shelter somewhere you would not put a tent. And you also need to think about wind, because you don't want the wind blowing right through your shelter, so you need to angle it properly. And if you want to have a fire, you need to make sure that the wind is blowing the smoke away from the shelter. But you still want to be close enough that you're getting some of the heat from the flame. Ah, would you look at that? I have a tarp. And a rope. No pegs, no problem. You can use sticks. I can build a hoochie with these things. Here, my friends will show you how to do it.
Alright, we're going to show you how to do the hoochie.
Hoochie.
It's basically the glamping of survival huts.
Basically.
So, let's get to it, Grace.
Okay, JJ. Oh wow, that's professionally wrapped rope.
Yeah, it is. Professionally taken apart. So you just got to tie this rope between two trees. Hey, that tree looks pretty good.
Hey,
What do you
look
say?
at that tree.
Yeah, let's do it. Tight as you can. Looks good. Okay, Grace is going to tie her end. Doesn't matter what knot she does as long as it keeps it secure to the tree. Alright, now tie a knot around this tree, and you want it to be nice and tight, this rope, and about the same level off the other side. So you want it nice and tight. What you can do is put it around the tree one more time, and I'll keep it nice and tight as you make that knot, because the tree will grip it. Not bad. Pretty okay. Lay the tarp over the rope. So it looks like a triangular prism.
Or a tent.
Tent, yeah. And then, oh wait, we don't have pegs. You know what we could still use?
Sticks.
Sweet. Now,
Oh look, sticks.
oh my goodness, those are perfect pegs, Grace. Stick pegs. I'll take 4 and we'll just make them nice and tight on each side. Takes a little finagling. You'll get the tightness you want. Sweet. Yeah, you just want to make sure it's tight so rain just goes right down, doesn't like, yeah. And what you could do is you can add a little trench all around it so water doesn't flow into your hoochie. And yeah, it's pretty good. Let's get inside, Grace.
Okay. Oh, I love thorns.
Oh wow, it's so roomy in here.
Wow.
Oh, I feel so
Oh,
protected
wow.
right now.
Yeah, no rain can get us.
Nope. All good.
Whew, that was a good night in the hoochie. Time to get a move on to the next site. Huh. Whew, what a good hike. Time to set up that hoochie again. Well, seem to have lost my tarp and rope, but that's okay, because there are some shelters we can build using just nature. Couple things to keep in mind before doing this is that it doesn't need to be big, because you can make a small one more effectively that works way better than a big one. It's for living and protection, not for luxury. So let's take a look at a couple of them. This here is a lean-to.
Hey y'all, so this right here is a shelter that we have made with nothing but our pure will, some sharp objects, and nothing but the surrounding wilderness. Now what we got here is called a classic lean-to, and what it here is a bunch of sticks that lean into this supporting beam right here, which is supported by 2 big Y-shaped logs. And so what we did was we put the 2 Y-shaped logs up against 2 sturdy trees that won't be coming down, and we put the beam on them in between the 2 Ys, and then you can make it so that it's able to support weight without falling over. And then we put the roof logs on top. You don't want them to be too thick because then they'll be too heavy. But we put those on top, And once we got those done, we made walls using more logs from dead standing trees nearby. And now that we have the general outline of what the structure should be, we're going to waterproof it, or waterproof it as best as we can by adding branches of trees. And if you keep adding more, eventually you're going to get what is hopefully a waterproof roof. And then once you're done adding stuff like this on top, what you can do is you can get moss and put moss on top as well.
The moss helps to fill in all the gaps and cracks made by the branches so that it keeps it even more watertight and keeps you safe and warm.
This is better than 5-star apartment.
As you can see, we've built a perfectly fine lean-to and we're protected from all the elements.
Except for bugs.
Except for bugs, unfortunately. As you can see here, we used a lot of green pine. And although normally you wouldn't want to cut down trees, they work much better for a shelter, so they're good in emergencies.
And we made sure to only cut down the pine that were infected with dwarf mistletoe.
Because they would have to come down anyway.
Awesome job on the lean-to, guys. Now, if you're not feeling like a lean-to and you feel like you want to spruce it up a little, you can always find yourself a spruce tree, like this one here, or this one here, and base your shelter off of that. Oh, hey, there's my pal Ethan over there. He's doing something like that right now. Let's go take a look.
Things I look for in a spruce tree are thicker branches, so protection from rain, so you don't get wet, and maybe a couple other little spruce trees around so you could weave the other limbs that you are going to cut around to build your walls. First, I start out by cleaning the inside, which I somewhat have done already. Yeah, there we go. We got a little area. So I cut a bunch of spruce limbs off of another tree, and now I'm going to weave it through this tree, this stick, and that tree. And right here, there wasn't another tree, so I just stuck another good sized stick right there. It's not perfect, but it'll do the job. I'm going to have to put another taller stick behind it to try to sandwich it and also keep it sturdy. I think that wall's pretty good. And if it gets windy later and a bit of wind's getting through these little holes, I can always add more behind or just keep weaving it through. I have this wall and this wall, but I'm not very happy with that, so I want another wall going this way. This will be the entrance. So there were no trees standing here, so I wanted to stab this branch into the ground, this branch and this branch, so I can weave through them. These branches, I left all the other limbs coming off of them, because that's just going to help with structure. Alright, now I got the walls mostly finished, and it's time for the roof. You're going to lay it this way, and then so that half is the roof is covered more than this half, so then lay it this way, and just keep doing that. Alright, and right now I'm thinking I'm going to put a stick from here over to here, because this wall isn't quite as tall. I might add a couple more limbs here just to even it out a bit. Alright, now I'm going to go in and take a look if there's any big holes I have to cover. For this shelter, you would ideally want some more dense trees, like with dense coverage with branches. And I did a couple more modifications. I put moss in here for a softer ground, like for bedding. and I put moss on top of the shelter to help with waterproofing.
Whoa, Ethan! Good job, this is awesome. Now you know some shelters to help you out when you're camping if you don't want to use a tent or if you forget it. Oh man, can't wait to curl up in my... I lost my sleeping bag. Well... Good night, everyone.